hopelessness in real estate. We have to bring some hopefulness in real estate. I think investors have looked at investment into real estate, and I think real estate developers, rightly or wrongly, have converted the illiquid business model into liquid business model by listing themselves. Just think for a minute, if the developer would not have listed on capital market, what would have been the situation in 2009 or 2008 second half? If people would not have done the first QIPs and second QIPs. So converting a illiquid business model to a liquid model, good, bad, ugly, I think that's not a point of debate. The offer price of 2006 end and 2007, almost 30 plus players, is 55 to 60% down. So returns are not visible. Even though you are liquid, in a way you are illiquid. So there is illiquidity in liquidity, because you have to really take a haircut. The question coming to picture is that then the wise people said that private equity is the right answer. And 2005, dollars came to this country. And 2005, a lot of rupees got raised for the new excitement of private equity. You are going to start owning the business. And the EBITDA margin of a project or a company is your returns. That's the theory on which we build business models. I think being a banker for 15 years to real estate end-use customer and the real estate developer, and now turned into private equity investor in 2008, I would like to share some of the changes and see trends what we have seen in real estate. 2009, we may be amongst very few private equity players who raised domestic rupee fund. So in a way, you are a product of recession. And you are a product of a lot of wisdom, what you should not be doing, what somebody has done in 2005, 6, 7, and 8. Let me tell you some of the key things probably I feel as an industry, as a private equity fraternity, we need to look at exits. Because when you go to the investors, today the investors are, the mindset of the investor is not to stay invested beyond 5 years. He gets uncomfortable post 3 years. So 7-year, 9-year, 10-year structures at this point in time is not the way forward. That's a clear C trend, even though you are a long-only investor. B, investors are unwilling to experiment with his money, getting into asset segment which you are not expert at. Investors would like to have a specific strategy rather than maybe a real estate agnostic strategy, I can say. People are more keen to know, are you focused on tier 1 or tier 2? As Kuldeep has rightly mentioned, people are focused on, are you going to be enterprise level or SPV level? People are equally focused on size of the projects. Are you going to be a project worth 1 million square foot, 2 million square foot, 4 million square foot? Are you an investor investing into 100-acre townships? Or you are looking at 5 or 10 or 15 acre, and you are going to restrict yourself to a smaller projects? So I think the domestic investor, when we raised our first fund of 350 crore in the calendar year of 2009, I think investors were looking at, I think they are looking at the liquidity in real estate. And that's where the structures are more important. The asset segments are more important. And I think, as Prem has rightly mentioned, unfortunately, we do not have exit options for the commercial real estate, office space, IT space, hotel, serviced apartments, SEZs. And I think these kind of assets at this point in time, there are hardly any exits easily available because the REITs are absent. Real estate mutual funds are just not there. Exiting by a fund to another fund, I don't think it is a true valuation of the asset exit. Because A fund wants a liquidity and B fund wants an entry. Their purposes are different and deal happens. But my sense is that the opportunity in residential real estate, as again Prem and Kuldeep has rightly mentioned. I think what people have liked about it, though as a country we are a very interesting country, the demand pyramid is 75% of the demand is less than 30 lakh homes. The tip of the pyramid is 2 to 3% needs ultra luxury, 1 crore in some cities and 5 crore in cities like Mumbai and other cities. And that 15-20% segment which is upwardly mobile, middle income, this is the middle management of the corporate India who is an aspiring next HNI. But the private equity investors and a developer perspective, the return pyramid is exactly reverse. The top of the pyramid has a margins of 5 to 15,000 rupees. The bottom of the pyramid has a margins of 500 to 1,500 rupees. And the middle of the pyramid has a margins of maybe 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. The question is, where do you focus? So it's a very catch-22. Bottom of the pyramid is a high velocity. But at the same time, your margins are thin. It can get wiped out by two reasons: commodity prices or execution. Now going back to the listed space, and what are we doing differently in private equity space, I think has to be the answer to the investors. Why? One hand, the valuations of the listed player is completely become hopeless. A player like Brigade Enterprises, with today's value, will be less than 1,000 crore market cap real estate company. But if you really look at the asset underlying in the company, probably can give you an impression of much larger valuation of that company. So why it's happening? Is there something missing as far as the analysts are concerned of the way, or is there investors are not able to understand how to value these real estate companies as far as listed space is concerned? And how our private equity investors are taking due care so that they can create value out of the investment they make and give returns. We have almost completed 5 to 6 years. 2005 was FDI guidelines. So a lot of FDI compliant funds have invested since 2005. A lot of domestic funds have also invested from 2005 and 6. I think as an industry, we have to focus more on exits. And I think that probably will reinstate the confidence in the minds of ultra HNIs, family offices, and the investors, including institutional investors. Though there is a huge opportunity, there is a macro story intact, the micro story is not intact. The micro story is a little fuzzy. And that's where probably the strategy, which is very, very focused, very, very asset segment focused, the sizes, the prices, the risk control, the structure of investment are more important. The another learning what I suddenly saw is that developers are not interested in buying lands. Developers are not buying lands. Not that they don't have lands, they have enough partly paid, fully paid, unbanked lands. So they are asset rich, cash poor. So today, I think the private equity investors is not really looking at those assets which are unbankable. For example, I don't think private equity investors are very comfortable in going to Devanahalli or Sri Perumbudur or Panipat, Sonipat, Kundli and those kind of locations. Today, I think private equity investors are truly representing what the investors are looking at. And that's where probably I think one need to understand that city-centric or suburban city-centric land parcels which can create liquidity in real estate by virtue of self-liquidating the assets, which is residential assets, focusing on mid-tier side, probably is the flavor of the day. Look at the recent fund raised. After we raising our 350 crore in 2009, India REIT Piramal Fund has raised almost 1,000 crore. Birla Real Estate Fund has raised almost upward of 1,000 crore. And the focus of these funds are mostly on those 5 cities, residential projects, smaller projects, and nobody at this point in time is willing to take a risk on the commercial real estate assets. So I think my view is that given the background that banking fraternity is completely negative or so-called maybe forced to think negative by the regulator and primarily public sector banking system. At one end, the prices have really gone up so fast and so early And most of the markets, and specifically Mumbai and some part of Delhi, that is Gurgaon, or some micro markets in other cities too, have now surpassed the 2008 peak levels. So one hand you have less customer advances coming to you as a liquidity. Second hand, the banks are not willing to give you working capital finance or project finance. The private financiers are also trying to take their pound of flesh and trying to de-risk the model by not putting all the eggs into one basket. At this point of time, I think the way forward is only private equity. And I think the opportunity in private equity seems to be quite mouth-watering. But I still feel, honestly speaking, the opportunity is not at the land buying stage. Land buying, I don't think at this point in time one is required to buy land, but taking equity out of the land and maybe creating some liquidity and the value of that money to that real estate developer is immense at this point of time. Controlling the execution, and I rightly said by fellow colleagues that execution is the name of the game, though location cannot be overruled. So I feel if I have to put it in a perspective of a thinking of a private equity guy, it has to be first the partner, the developer, and developer, because he is the partner who is going to make you earn money. So first is the partner, second is the location, third is the structure of your investment, fourth is your alignment of interest, and the last is your returns. I think return is a function of all these four things putting together. And I think as far as what Rajni has mentioned, Prem has mentioned, I think it's very, very clear. However you write, and as a banker, let me tell you, in my career of 15 years with the bank, none of the properties we could able to take, even though we had a privilege to use SARFAESI. Neither I had to really do that as a part of the banking system. What is the challenge was largely coming on the execution side is monitoring of the receivables and cash flows. I think the biggest challenge in the real estate at this point in time is the ring fencing the cash flows of the project level investments. And I think if one can able to make a structure in which allows you to ring fence the cash flows, and the asset management side, as Kuldeep has rightly mentioned, if one focus on the asset management side and a private equity perspective, not as a financer or a private equity guy sitting on the fence, but truly a equity partner working with a developer, playing a role which he's supposed to play, I see a great opportunity. The reason is, not that I'm marketing our fund, but in the last calendar year, 2010, 70% of our fund we drawn down and we invested in 6 investments. So I think couple of learnings, the ticket size are gone down. 30 to 50 crore is a good enough ticket size today, and developers are happy about it, though there are opportunities to do 100, 150, but it all depends on the strategy of the fund. Tier 2, Tier 3 looks attractive, but still I feel they are illiquid. Clearly because the size, scale, and the quality of the partner is still missing. And I think nobody would like to experiment at this point of time beyond the maybe top 5. Some cities, specifically like Hyderabad and Calcutta, I still feel there is an apprehension about investment in those cities. And people are focusing on the rest of the 5 top metros. Though let me tell you, Mumbai is no less than Hyderabad. Hyderabad is facing a recession and Mumbai is facing euphoria. So they are all extreme ends. So you are anyway in the same boat.
Irrational exuberance.
Irrational exuberance. So if you are not investing in Hyderabad, as you are not investing in Mumbai, they come in the same category. So in short, I think I would like to put a perspective saying that when we are now raising our second fund, we are in the market since November, and I think we are getting the similar response what we have seen, as I mentioned to you, in 2009. So I think investors are willing to hand over the money to the private equity players because they are not comfortable with the listed equity valuations. They're not able to understand how to do valuation of these assets. And as a fraternity, I think it is a great responsibility on each of us shoulder to give exits to those investments to keep the whole thing going strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil.
You want to take off? Thanks.